Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back. Patrick here. Moving on to the next question. So a company's direct costs for 4 of its products are given below. So right here, 4 products A to D, and we have the direct costs for each respective one. And then we're told that there are also indirect costs, company-wide, that amount to $800,000. If the indirect costs are assigned to each product in proportion to the direct costs each incurs, find the total cost of each product. So this is a nice example. That's an introduction to managerial accounting. And basically what's happening is there's 4 products and then there's direct costs, meaning like, for example, the material that's directly traceable. That's a word that's used in managerial accounting, traceability. That's traced to each product. So you could see it on the product, but then there's also indirect costs. So for example, let's say that all 4 of these products here, they're being created in the same factory, then maybe the lease for the entire factory would be an indirect cost. You can't really take that cost and trace it to each specific product. It's just the cost for the whole factory where all 4 products are being manufactured. So what happens is you got to take those indirect costs and then assign them to each product. And we're told here that you're going to take these indirect costs and you're going to assign them in proportion to the direct costs that each product incurs. So what we have to do is we have to figure out what percentage of the total direct costs each product is incurring, and then apply that percentage onto the indirect costs. So the way we would do that, first off, we would have to total up the direct costs. So if I total all these up, we would end up with 2 million. So that's the total direct costs. And then to figure out the proportion of each, we can just take each of these amounts and divide them by that 2 million. So 200,000 divided by 2 million would give us 0.1 or 10%. Then 300,000 divided by 2 million would give us 0.15 or 15%. And then 900,000 divided by 2 million would give us 0.45 or 45%. And then 600,000 divided by 2 million would give us 0.3 or 30%. And then notice how all of these percentages, they add up to 100, which makes sense, right? So 10 plus 15, 25, plus 45 would give us 70, plus 30 would give us 100. So that's the proportion that each product is incurring of, in proportion of the direct cost that it's incurring, right? So we totaled all of them up and then figured out the percentages. And then what we're doing is we're taking these percentages and then assigning these indirect costs based on those percentages. So over here, we can create another row called indirect costs. So we would do 0.1 times 800,000, which would give us 80,000. And then 0.15 times 800,000 would give us 120,000. And then 0.45 times 800,000 would give us 360,000. Then 0.3 times 800,000 would give us 240,000. And then if you want to check these values, what we can do, we could total them up, and they should total up to 800,000. So notice 80,000 plus 120 would give us 200,000, plus 360 would give us 560,000. 560,000 plus 240,000 does indeed give us that 800,000. So we took the indirect costs and we assigned them to each product in proportion that each one incurs the direct costs. And so now the total cost of each product, that's what they're asking for. The total cost here would be basically the sum of the direct cost and the indirect cost for each product. So this one here would be 280,000. This one here would be 420,000. So these are the answers here. This one here would be 1,260,000. And then these two here would be 840,000. Right, so those are the answers. Those are the total costs of each of the 4 products.